Hello, everyone. It's good to be here again. It's Thursday evening. Time to have some conversation tonight. Okay, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. Stressful, but it's good to be here. It's just good to be here. I wanted to uh, come on today. There's a lot happening in our country, and those who are doing it call it politics. Okay. Um, Western Dictionary reference politics as politics refer to the activity, action, and policy used to gain hold power in the government or to influence the government. It involved decision making, debates, and the creation of laws and policies that shape a society. Remember, shape a society. Politics can also encompass the effort of individual to group to advocate for certain values, idea, interests within a community or country. Okay, there have to be a philosophy or guiding principle, a core value that leads you. Whereas in our country, there's none whatsoever. Hey, actually, there's none. There is none whatsoever. All right, there is none. All right. So I hear all the time Liberian people say politics is about interest. That is correct. Not an individual interest or interest of the nation for the greater goods of a nation. When you hear people talk about people like Alexander the Great, they wanted the nation to stand out. They wanted the people to be better. You hear the story of the Saudi prince, how he has changed his nation from the desert kingdom to Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore, a nation built in the middle of third world country, become the first world. Okay. Park Jong-hee of South Korea, same thing. Deng Xiaoping of China, same thing. Paul Kagame. It goes on and on and on. Yesterday, John McAfee. They call it politics. They call dishonesty politics in Liberia. Okay. And I hear a lot of you write this word, and you keep writing these words: integrity. You know, when our kids start going to school, as young as elementary school, we use that word integrity. And I would define what integrity is, because like when people quick on changes to integrity outcome, the person that integrity outcome. Integrity means, okay, in the simplest possible, second grade level, as we teach, okay? Integrity means being honest, doing the right thing at all times, even when no one is looking, okay? Even when no one is looking or watching. It's about being truthful, keeping your promises, and always trying to do what is fair and what is good. That's what integrity means. You cannot be lying, then you're saying the person got integrity. Somebody stealing, say the person got integrity. You know what really sad? Vendetta Patrick wrote something, I'm going to read it. That's not my biggest puppy, but I'm going to read it. And it makes sense. Okay? That's today in Liberia. Today in Liberia. All right? I see Yeke Koluba wrote today. I will be in the country on Monday. I will go after those that are behind the plot against the speaker. We are also doing our investigation about the plot against the speaker. And if we gather that the vice president is a part of it, we will go for him. Liberian Water Sewer Corporation boss Mo Ali has given 150,000 US dollar, while the transport ministry Shalif Taylor has given 600,000 US as a contribution to the plot. Guys, y'all hear that? Yes, Mr. Peabody, y'all hear that? Mo Ali, that were begging people yesterday to drive their car. Mo Ali, that we saw sitting in that place, blowing his hair when they were talking about that leg business. He could not even afford air condition. Mo Ali, then what was running after Alexander Cummings for money. Mo Ali, take the Liberian people money. Listen, Liberian people, for me, it's getting old. They say a man who is not in chain, but cannot fight for himself or for his children, his unborn children. Mentally, that man is in chain. Liberian people, we got to forgive these people. Hi, brother. Mentally, Liberians are in chain because they are not tied to anything. The people tell you there's no money in the country, but they're all millionaires. The people tell you they're running from place to place to beg the word to help Liberia. That Liberia is poor, okay? But they can dish out millions of dollars to remove a speaker, like they did during CDC time. They collected money, they gave it in the middle of the night to remove Kabina Janet. But you're turning to us in America, begging, trying to make us feel bad. My sister, I take God to beg you. My sister, help my child. My sister, do this. My sister, do that. But the people who you stood in line for, the people who you gave your future to, the people who you stood in line for hours to say, I'm putting the future of my children and myself in your hand. Because you saw an idea to me and you can do that. They take your money and give it to destroy your nation, and you're sitting there at home. But you're mad, Italy didn't give you visa. You're mad, America didn't give you visa and did not 50% of you your visa. By the way, the American people say we are dishonest. We have no integrity. So when you're talking nonsense about integrity, how you call it, that's nonsense. It's nonsensical. Okay? We have no integrity. They say 50% of the people that they give visa to don't go back. And you know, those 50%, you know, they are majority of the time, they are government official. When the terms are coming to an end, they get their visa. When they can't, they don't leave. Most of them end up dying here. Okay? Mr. Barron, I'm going to hurt some people feeling. Who was this? The Trenton representative for years. When he thought he had not done anything, they were going to vote in. The voter here, he came to America, he didn't stay. He died in Philadelphia. Few of our former presidents had died right here in England or here. Interim president died right here. They will take their body home. We were paid to take their body home. Although they came here and they stole our money, built mansions for them and their children, we paid to carry their body back. Imagine. Imagine this. Imagine this. All right? I'm gonna read this. And it's disgusting. Okay, we got their signatures. A coup d'etat. Let me read this. This young man wrote this, and I will read it to you. It says, all calculated plots find a strategic method to take him out of Liberia, but it shall be centered around official engagement, who will execute his plan without being noticed. He secretly persuaded to leave before executing the agenda to remove him. You all know who the he, and I will call it Maybe the president afraid to say. The president, well, the night finally settled down. He boarded the flight to Italy's Italian soil, home of the mafia. Boom, the platter assembled with the what conviction to execute the agenda. Okay, Fonati sat thousands of miles away, watching his long-standing affixing their signature to give him a political blow. He makes a call, but no one is picking up. On Italian soil, he's being cajoled, believing that that being on a presidential delegation will change things. Well, no. Strangely, loyalists of the Fonati regime control with a sporadic use of undigested word, throw stones, fighting to protect the throne of their leader. The plot quickly changed tactics and made way to the main chamber, hoping that Fonani deputy would enter and officially call for the removal's resolution to be read on the floor. 49 plotters have signed and received 15,000 each. 15K each. These are people, although they have no implementation power based on our constitution, which is a violation. Guys, read it. The Liberian legislature have no implementation power. Hello, Papa, Grandpa. Welcome. The Liberian legislature does not have implementation power. Their duty is oversight. Make laws, okay? Do amendments, ratify bills, and trade. They have no implementation power. Every time they take money, I don't care who they are, it violates the Constitution. And every time you agree to violate the Constitution, it diminishes the nation. They're undermining the structure of the country, whether you all like it or not. Emre can tell me here. Okay? That's exactly. It's your people today, yesterday, and I see. West Side is, I hear people say they love. How the hell you love when you don't even know where love is? Most of you are delusional. You don't know where love is. How do you love somebody who is torturing you? How do you love somebody who is keeping you hungry? How do you love somebody that watch you drown in floor? You are dancing in river with all type of diseases flying in it, and you think you're comfortable. You've been conditioned, all right? You don't even love yourself. And the thing is, the Bible says this in the book of Ecclesiastes: what is lacking cannot be given. You cannot give where you don't have. You cannot give love because you don't know what love is. If you have never experienced it, that is the biggest problem you have. You use words loosely. That papier that you call Boaka, I'm the one who's speaking. In my opinion, as it stands, he has no integrity. He does not know what the word integrity means. Most of you don't. When has he done anything right? This is a dude. Yes, I said dude. Okay? That put his hand on the Bible, and he is a deacon of a church and lie on an oath. That was my turning point. It would not have taken me any time during the second round if Pape Boaka had done everything he needed to do correctly to stay and say, I support him. But a person who can put their hand on the Bible and lie on their friend, they call their friend and brother, somebody they grew up with, that person, you know, he reminded me of doing the war when we were walking, going across the line. Some people would see people that they knew, they were their neighbors. And they would say, I know that person, they can vouch for me. And the person would act that they knew them. And the person would say, take them behind the horse. The moment that person said, take them behind the, that's your death sentence. That is your death sentence. That's what they were doing. Killing their own people. And they thought They thought. We told, Chairman Billington were on the closing argument 2 days ago when he said, I will do what is right by the Liberian people. Even if I am a lawmaker for a day, that day is enough, but I will stand by the Liberian people. Mr. Kofa and Lofa Juliet said the same thing, I think it was yesterday, and said, do what is right by the Liberian people. You were here, backing the man, trying to blow the fiddle for him while he plots for you. You see Pape Bouaka? You ain't seen nothing yet. That's precisely what he did during the CPP. He sat in a room with Stanton. It's recorded. It's out there. And he said, I'm the oldest on the team. I'm the world season. I know the people. When I get to Liberia, I will make sure. Send you a request? Okay. I'll send it now. I will make sure. Okay. He comes. We bring the CPP together. Okay. Although he knew. Okay. Although he knew that he never donated a dime to the making of the CPP. All right. They pretended as if to say they did not have money. All right. While we suck ourselves and took money out of our pocket in the name of Liberia, making sure that we had a competition, making sure that we changed the course of the nation. Whereas, okay, Jesus, my storage is full. Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, I can do this right now. I'm gonna go ahead and do my. Let me see here. Emery, give me 1 second. Guys, you gotta give me 1 second. I gotta get on Facebook and send a I gotta send my Facebook at. I gotta send the link. Okay. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm coming. Okay. What the heck? Okay, give me 1 second. I think it will work. Okay. This other. All right. I'm just going to. Why is it doing this? This thing is messing up. Okay. Let me see, Emric, if I can put it right here. No, let me see if I can. Okay, I can put comment. I'm going to put it right here. All right, here it is. Because this thing is acting up. Okay. Emric, I just put it in the line so you can copy and paste it and come on. All right. So we are sitting here and thinking, and I was talking about Musa. Actually, let me come back. And Musa said, if I would be, how you call it, for one day, so be it. Then I will be that. But I am not going to compromise myself. I will not compromise myself. All right. Emma, can you see that? Can you see the StreamYard link? Oh, it's on second touch. Okay, let me go back here. The perinated is second touch that's showing in there. Just give me 1 second. I'll do this. If you click on it, it will bring you in, Emmerich. All right, yeah, it is. Let me see if I can. Okay, it's there. So it's right down here. You can click on it and come on. If you click on it, it will route you in. I just sent it to you. I just sent it to you right here. Yeah, I just sent it to you right there. So look underneath. It's pinned down. It's pinned right down here, and I don't know how to. Okay, I can do it. Hold on. Alrighty, check your inboxes there. Okay. So when people were asking me, but you voted for him in 2017 or supported him, I did. That is correct. I did. I did. I knew of their maneuvering. I knew that. No, Mr. Peabody, no legitimate, okay, ethical, Fortune 500, okay, organization is coming to invest in Liberia. Most of the, if people come at all, they will be high risk. I also learned that he thinks he's playing with the American people. That's what we're telling Liberian people. I think most of the people in Bwaka government, these, yeah, I'm coming to a scholarship brats that they send here to Kennedy School of Graduate because I think, oh, Harvard graduate, oh, Yale graduate. You're not an upperclassman. Start running around bragging like you went through the process and how you call it. Your company paid, they gave you that, you came and none of you really work in that. All right? You're not what you call upperclassmen. You're not. In America, to enroll in these schools, there are different bands that you enroll at. Most of you don't understand that. You don't know that. All right? Where you have, Liberia has everything to be successful. All right? The so-called economists or economists in Liberia, all right, at elementary level, the three questions are always you have to answer. What to produce, for whom to produce, and how to produce. What do we already have? You need raw material. We got raw material. What do we already have? Why don't we treat people? Israel knew that they didn't have land. So they decided they would use irrigation and what they can be very good at. So they invest in specialization. They invest in their people. The same thing with South Korea. Oil refinery, semiconductor, telecommunication, electronics, rice. You have land. You know, I listened to that old man blaming everybody. The one I can call herself Wakana baby. Oh, she coming open her farm. And I don't even think she that old. Maybe that woman must say the same age. I don't really believe she that old looking at her. I don't. I really don't. Hey, Winston, I'll call you the weekend. Okay? I don't even believe she that. She's saying Bwaka go bring money and the people think they spend it. Do you know how much money Bwaka spending? Do you? But as I was saying, let me continue. I love my ability to say If I would only be a lawmaker for one day, I will be a lawmaker for one day. But I will do what is right by the Liberian people. That for me, it spoke volume to me. Okay? We talk for Nani Kofa. You were around here. Speaker Kofa in the United States, unless you're white and you're Donald Trump, that you're multi-billionaire, you a billionaire. The second chance that you got, only Liberia would have been able to give it to you. As a black man, as an African with an accent. Everything that you did here, the trouble you got in here, jail time, you went to Liberia, Liberian people turned around and elected you. Instead of standing with them, speaking for them to be on your side, you decide you will be on the other people's side. What? Let me first of all say, I condemn it. If it was wrong yesterday to take Kabina Janneh out, it's wrong today. But I'm saying, Speaker today, for Nani Kofa, were in the house when they decided at Garage Gray, lie on that man to move him. And they do nothing. Judicial system who have watched the Liberian Constitution literally collapse under them. Were right there. Although they have 4 bench that passed that judgment, they hear Kabina Janneh alone for it and remove him. Because certain people, or Mr. Weah and the people, they didn't want him. You want to build a nation, but you people do not want to do what those who have built their nation did. You don't want to do what is right. You don't want to educate your population, because when you do and they wake up, they will stand up to you. And I can tell you what, thank God to Zuckerberg. Liberians are standing up. Liberians are waking up. It's just a matter of time. They may not wake up my lifetime, but I can see the glimpse of them waking up. When we started this journey, okay, 8 years ago, on this platform, Emery Nico, Duke JJ, Francine Richardson, Cyrus Pele, George Wallace, George Lobo Waleta. I didn't know it was all about job, but at least majority of them were not about job. Okay. When we used to pay people, young people in Liberia, because people didn't have cell phone like this today. 8 years ago, to take computer and speak up from community to community on the weekend. Emery, you hear, tell me la to speak to the community, to tell them about their rights and responsibility. I remember paying to be on the air in Nima County, okay, Grand Bassa County, and people will say, you don't question your leader. Hey, Freddie, you don't question your leader. Today they are questioning. You hire them. Listen, this is not 1945. This is not even 2015. This is 2024. Our people will wake up. I strongly believe that. When they feed and watch those people, you tell Liberian children. I see a policeman in Mangibi today, police director, walking in the ring, no umbrella, in the ring, to go take care of the issue. But you got 185,000, no schools, 185,000. The children have no chairs. You are ditching out 15,000 each for 73 lawmakers. That you are going to give them $25,000 each. Liberian people, this is when you stand up. In the coming days, I'm just waiting for the elections here to be over. I will be writing. My organization will be writing the U.S. Congress, especially foreign affairs. How you're taking our taxpayer money to share among yourselves, and let them know, and we'll send some of the leaked paper to the U.S. Congress. How much you're paying yourself with their tax, with our tax that have become a taxpayer. All right? Because majority of you in Liberia, you don't care. You say you love the people who suffer you. So there's no need for, and I'm saying it, and somebody will hold this against me. Please do, by all means. You don't need any money coming to Liberia because you got money. What you people are doing is, you see, majority of the country around the world, they get their money to run their government from taxes by creating jobs and on their natural resources. You just tax your people. You make their lives hard to live. Your executive don't pay no bills. They don't pay light bills. They don't buy gas. They don't pay for car note. They don't pay for their own places where they're living. You turn around, you get them $7, $8, $9, $10, $14,000 in a country that you deem is poor. A nation with over 300,000 of its youth population addicted to drugs. In a country where 3.5% of your population cannot find food to eat. They live below the poverty line. But here you are. Here you are. Emma, you got to try again. You're not doing. Go out and come back in there. Let me send it to you on WhatsApp. Okay, gotta plug this in. Emma, go out and come back in if you can hear me. No, sorry. I hold on, flash you. Change my clothes. Give me some jeans. Okay. Yeah, Emma, try to come back in. Okay, try to come back in. Okay. There we go. You are sitting there. These people are rolling you and your family. Come on, Emery. Here you go. How are you, dear?
Good, good. Thank you, Cindy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little perplexed when I watched our people just sitting there. We've been talking straight. I mean, I'm not talking about the one that we did with intermission, but the last 8 years we have been educating. We have been trying. And these people talk about somebody having integrity. You know, I was talking to somebody. In fact, Saturday morning, look, Rosa called me from a little restaurant. People say, "Oh, you must support the CDC because she didn't support UP." And I told them, I didn't support either one. I could not even put my name on the line for Waka because he has absolutely no integrity. But welcome. Let's have a conversation on what is going on in Liberia.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
You know, it's the same. It's the continuity of the same bad problems. I mean, bad things or bad issues we talked about in the past, right?
Yeah.
Some of us cannot sit when we condemned it in the past and look at it happen now,
Mm-hmm.
and sit quietly. That's the reason
Mm-hmm.
why we have this urge of nationalism, patriotism, and that's the reason why we come on and speak against it.
Mm-hmm.
You may indict Fonari Kofa, but we have a system, right?
Right.
The system is compromised.
Mm-hmm.
Once
Yeah.
something is done not the legitimate way,
Mm-hmm.
we will speak up.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why some of us, when it happened today, we had
Yeah.
to take a stand. We can't be wishy-washy on the issues of Liberia, right?
Correct.
We when if it was if it was wrong yesterday, it is wrong today. It will be
Correct.
wrong tomorrow, right? So
Yeah.
we can say because we did not support or because Fonari Kofa was there when Kabina Janet got kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
We use that to support the wrongness of it today, right?
Right.
That doesn't make us good to look good.
No.
There are, and you can't be lopsided in this argument. It has to be fundamentally sound,
Mhm.
right? It has to be on the basis of fundamental principles and values
Mhm.
on ethics and morals. Once you are consistent with your ethics and morals, you stand
Mhm.
on a good side. History going to redeem you tomorrow because you are consistent in your decisions. You have to be this. I mean, you have to have a discernible decision or judgment in anything you do.
Mhm.
And when we see that some people think that it's tit for tat, right? Then
Mhm.
we say you don't stand for the cause
Nope.
because the cause should be about Liberia. What's
Correct.
wrong then, wrong today, and will be wrong tomorrow.
That is right.
So,
Mhm.
so if you look at what's happening, first of all, that's the reason why we have to change our entire accounting process in the country because when you have the money, when you have the trail of money, you will know the crime, you know who actually was able to bring about. I mean, huge amount. Look
Mhm.
at the amount of 15,000 times 49, right? I think
Mhm.
maybe 700. I mean, $735,000
Yep.
just too much money in a country like Liberia,
Mhm.
right? To just
Yep.
spend in hospitals. You see, when the hospitals, when the schools, in fact, some of the parents are still contacting us for us to help with their children.
Yep.
You find the schools, substandard schools. You find in some of our towns, our villages, our cities, the schools are all deplorable, no good teachers.
No
So
teachers. The children are sitting on the floor. Mhm.
but you know what? 735,000 is just a part of the 25,000. That 15,000 got given out today on
Mhm.
49 people. So
Yep.
you know how much money is that, right? But to a point, yeah, we can always just blame them, right? We have
Mhm.
to now put the blame on our people because they are creating these conditions. These are harsh conditions because they support these corrupt behaviors and practices. So it's about time too we put the responsibility on them because I think we have talked enough to
Mhm.
educate the population, to educate them. They have
Mhm.
to understand their worth. I think by now they should know what makes a country not to move forward, and those are
Mhm.
some of the things that's in the way of the country moving in any way that any 21st century country going to move in. Any country that is making progress, right? Some of those things that we see that should be happening,
Mhm.
we lack those things. You know,
Yep.
we haven't found a way to mitigate corruption, to cut back on corruption. We haven't done it. We haven't done well because we got people, the citizens too, that support. Everybody has his or her own devil to support, to justify for, and it's wrong. If it's wrong today, we condemned
Mhm.
it yesterday. That's why it's wrong today. So
Correct.
I always like your position. I always like your consistency in dealing with these things, right?
Thank
We may
you.
not always agree on everything, but one thing when it comes to the fundamental issues of our country, they're where we stand together. And
Yep.
I hope we can find like-minded people that will forget no matter who they support, right? But when
Yep.
something is wrong, we stand together and support each other
Right.
to make sure
Mhm.
that we correct the wrongs of our country. I keep
Correct.
hoping and praying. I will give you a chance as you speak. I'll be
Mhm.
able to come on and elaborate more because money
Mhm.
like that, you see,
Mhm.
no ordinary person, even a ministry, cannot have in access to such amount of money.
And you know what? And that's exactly what you said. According to Yaka Koluba, Water and Sewer gave 150,000 US dollar, while the transportation ministry, Minister Salif Taylor, has given 600,000 US as a contribution in plotting to remove. So we are talking over 700, over 800,000.
Right.
They gave over 800,000. Like, when people, you're here, you're elected these people to work on your behalf. You saw school coming open in Nima alone, because of the place where I've been able to get data and statistics. You have over 15,000 volunteer teachers. The last time Dr. Richardson and I were coming from Saclay, We were in Yaslin area. The children were coming from working on the teacher's farm because the teacher is working free. So the children must go on the given day to the teacher farm to brush the teacher farm or to plant rubber for that teacher. We stopped and we asked. I have pictures of those. Okay. So women are dying in the hospital. Since Caroline, you're calling and begging for prenatal care. That time that for you to speak up because you are taking from out of your children's mouth. The money that Emma is supposed to be sponsoring his children with, he's taking to send it to Liberia. People stay, we can't sleep in the night. Some of us are suffering from insomnia because of the cause. The call wake you or because you're stressed thinking about your people. More Ali that could not afford to ride a car yesterday. Or even pay. I saw him sitting there when they were talking about that legal business, blowing himself with fame. How does he have access to the nation money? Who is the accountant? Why would the manager or the director have access to the nation's funds? Why the funds not deposited in the bank account? Why would he have the authority to go and withdraw our wealth? So if you are the accountant and you in a structure, okay, or legacy organization that you work for that have been around, that deal with professional and do all kind of work, talk to us. Where in the world do you see that?
But you see, if you read Article 5. Article 5 talks about integration, right? There has to be regional balance in our governing structure. It's one of the things I've spoken against because we spoke against it when former President Weah was there.
Yes.
Was an outcry from everyone that the southeastern region,
southeastern government.
Exactly. So we all spoke against it because it was wrong, right? If you go back to our history as to why we had the 1980, April 12, 1980 coup, was disenchantment of a group of people or certain group of people that the whole country was being governed by just one group of people of the same kind, and so people got dissatisfied, right? And Toba got killed because of they said corruption and nepotism. Nepotism now is like tribalism. They're all kind of like intertwined. They all
it is.
So what's happening now? We see since 1980, we have not improved in those things that changed our history forever, changed our country forever. Because since 1980, our country changed and we have not regained our status as a nation or respectable nation. We have not. So if you look at what's happening right now, that's just something like you would take a whole government, right? When you look at what's happening with the cash in our country, the finance, they're sponsoring something like that. If you took your whole group, that's the financial sector, the security sector, and place it in the hands of people from the same region or the same county, that's bad. That's bad. And when I look at it's done by design, right? It's not based on qualification because we cannot argue and say, oh, people from Lofa are the only qualified people, the only brilliant people. You know, we cannot make that argument because
you can.
The brilliance of the country spread all over. You can go to Grand Bassa and find brilliant people. You can go to Sanu and find brilliant people. You can go to Maryland. You can go to Montserrat. You can go everywhere. Cape Mount. Every part of the country has brilliant people. So the Constitution was never wrong to say integration and unity, right? We have to have integration and unity if you have people from all parts of the county, almost evenly divided. But if you look at our security sector right now with the chief of staff, the chief of staff of the army, Fuller, is from Lofa.
Lofa country.
Okay. And
Finance minister, Lofa country.
Internal affairs, they look at
Lofa country.
Lofa County. Then you CBL,
Lofa country.
Some more. Then you look at our revenue areas, right? The revenue streams and so being controlled by somebody double jala from Lofa County.
Look at
These
the
things are intentional.
Waka nephew.
And if Bweka been around, if Bweka understands, or if he understood our history, what caused our war and all of those dissatisfactions, and
But you were part of it too. You were there, you were in the government.
But that's why to change the culture of any organization or any country, you cannot bring somebody who comes from within the same polluted culture or society or organization. You always bring somebody from outside to change the culture. Anywhere you're hiring, if you want to hire somebody who's going to change the culture, if you have a bad culture, you want to change the culture, you bring somebody from outside to revamp, resuscitate, to change things around.
Anytime you restructure any organization, that's what they call the quarters. You got to bring people from outside.
From outside, because the mindset, the ideology, everything different. This is how you can infuse or society or an organization or culture. This is how you change it. But okay, we all agree elections are over, because they will soon say they are still hurting, they are still bitter from, they don't pay attention to it, right? They are
you
still
don't need to, because we are doing, we're not stealing, we are living well.
Right.
And we don't feel intimidated, because we are in a competitive nation where we are, where we find ourselves, we earn every spit of it.
Exactly. So if you look at all of these things happening, right, they were intentional to put people from his county in those strategic areas. And then we see you want to remove the speaker. I'm now a proponent of Kofa for Nadi Kofa.
Me neither.
I'm not. But the same people got him over there.
Yes.
If the people got it over there legally, right? Then it has to be done legally. Then everything around him has to be done legally.
Correct.
So if they're going to say that he's not doing the right thing, I think first of all, the outcry should come from his people. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
The outcry should come from his people, the people that he represents, right? It should come from them first, to say we are dissatisfied. They can channel their grievances to them, right?
Yeah.
The house, and say we're dissatisfied with the way for Nadi Kofa. But it can't come from a bunch of criminals that already concocted or planned to get him out. Okay. So we have to defend the sovereignty of our country. We have to defend the legal arm of our country. We have to defend the Constitution. This is where I stand, and I think this is where you stand. That because of our Constitution, this is why we speak. This is why we speak. We don't speak because we know for Nadi Kofa. We don't speak because we stand with him. We don't speak. We stand with the Constitution, right? The same way when Kabina Janet was going through that process, we stood.
We were right here. We spoke. Yes,
we were there, and we say it was wrong. So we said it was wrong because Funadi Kofa was there then. So it makes it right now because we think we are aggrieved or we are unhappy with him being a part of it at that time. To say, let's tweak it and twist it around. It makes our argument, makes us to be lazy people. It makes our argument to be lazy. It simply means that we are emotional people. We are not constitutional people. So to see Liberians, right, go through that today, it simply means that the change we talk about, because when before President Bweka took over, you know what he said? He will be different.
Yep, that's what he said.
You know why he said he will be different? Because he saw all of the different transitions we have gone through, right? And I think I was under the impression that he learned from those different transitions and said, okay, I understand the culture, I understand the society, I understand the corruption, I understand all of those things. I will be different. That was powerful. And I think looking at him,
it was all talk.
Yeah, but we'll take a word for it, right? That's just me. Even if I know you don't have certain level of competence, certain level of credibility, certain level of integrity, I will just take your word for it. You see, that's how I am. Because you know what? I'm going to use your words against you. Tomorrow, I'm going to use your words and say, these are the things you said. So if you're not consistent and you don't represent what you said, it simply means that you're just not an ethical person. You don't have the integrity. Okay. Looking at what's happening right now, it cannot be something, because even if you're the executive, the president, you're the head of the executive. Correct. If the ministry the Ministry of Transport, okay, is using money from their budget to do something like that, and you're not in approval of it, that person should be fired.
Yes,
okay,
they need to go. Those people
yeah,
need to be fired.
because
I agree.
as far as we are concerned,
we need to.
as far as we are concerned,
Mhm.
the line item for the money for the budget of the transport ministry, the line item, we already have purpose for all of those different allocations, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
if you took it and divert it on something like that, did you budget for it? So now we see the off spending. When we talk about off spending, off budget spending, all of those things, they're where it's from.
That's where they're taking money and giving on the side to go murder people in the middle of the night.
Off budget, you can't have off budget, right? Huge amount like that for off budget spending. It's just so huge. Where you have
almost $1 million.
Educational sector, they don't even have money, but you got off budget spending to have that huge amount of money, like unexplained. So I will let you, I'll speak, then I can come on and speak again.
Thank you, Emerick. Thank you so much. I'm glad we're having this conversation. Anybody want to join, you can join us. Let me say this. What Emerick is talking about is Article 5 of the Liberian Constitution. It states, and I read, the Republic shall aim at strengthening the national integration and unity of the people of Liberia, regardless of ethnic, regional, or other differences, into one body politics, and the legislature shall enact laws promoting national unification and the encouragement of all citizens to participate in government, preserve, protect, and promote positive Liberian culture, ensuring that traditional values which are compatible with the public policy and national progress are adopted and developed as an integral part of the growing need of the Liberian society. Take step by appropriation or appropriate legislature and executive order to eliminate sectionalism and tribalism. Okay, that's what it says, and such abuse of power as the misuse of government resources, nepotism, and all other corrupt practices. What Emerick just spoke is that it's just being how, he said it in so many words, but this is it right here. It's written in our Constitution. Nepotism, tribalism, do all you can. That those things does not exist. That's how we went to war. Emerick.
Oh yeah, the framers of our Constitution, they were spot on with some of these laws, and I think that we just don't read our Constitution. We just don't follow it. We say we have a constitution, but we just don't read it. We just don't follow it, and it's sad that people don't even know their rights in the country.
They make sure they don't know their right. They're not teaching it in school. They're not teaching it in elementary school.
They don't even have to teach it in school for you to read your rights, to know your rights, because it's the bedrock of the country. It's almost like the Bible of the country, right? The Constitution is the Bible of the country. So you have no sense of direction if you don't know the Constitution.
But Emerick, you got 52% of the population that cannot read and write. You got the 48. If you
and then in our Constitution too, it is incumbent upon the government to educate.
That's why
it's a human right. It's a human right. It's a human right thing too.
Yes.
Okay. So if you don't address that, you are abusing the rights of your people by not educating them.
Yep.
That's your sole responsibility as a government to educate.
As a government. Yep.
So it's a primary. It's primary to educate your people, to inform your people. So if that is not being done, it simply means that we don't have a government that even understands as to what their duties are. Okay, they don't understand their duties, because the education should be important, where especially primary education, right?
Exactly.
Primary education it should be free everywhere in the world.
Exactly.
Okay, everywhere in the world, in the US or world, India, or everywhere in the world. So we have a fundamental problem. A fundamental problem. We don't want to educate our people. It's done by design because we think
It
that
is.
it will create
It
a
is.
level of competition in our society, right?
Yeah.
And those that are lazy, those that don't want to put in work, and so they will not be able to compete with some of the smartest children you find in our country. That's the reason why we don't want to educate our children, the young ones. And that's the reason why we want to expand the country, because once you expand the country, some of them will lose track. Some of the people that our children worship today, right? And support today, they will end up not being competitive. Because in an environment to be competitive, you always have to be on your P's and Q's to make sure you study, you research, you advance yourself in different ways, in different shapes and forms. We cannot do it in our country because we think when we hold the people down, it suits our interest, personal interest. Okay. And that's exactly what's happening, because some of the guys in the House of Representatives, in the Senate, they're not any better. And I will say they're not any better than some of the children that just even graduated from college or from high school. Okay. But we have built this society where we keep our people in the blind.
Yeah.
Because we think
so
it
they can
benefits
watch us.
Exactly. Because we lazy, we can't compete. So you see, our issue is way bigger. And we, to be all over the place is not easy with our issue. Because if you think that it's just one aspect, we got so many different areas where you can come from. And nobody is wrong. But once you are factual and you are truthful, you are objective about our issue, I really don't care about who I'm hurting, right? You see today, some of the posts I was making against those guys from Nima. I remember the Nima of DJ Wonsiele, Jackson Hebdo. The Nima of DJ Wonsiele, Jackson Hebdo, they were so competitive back then. And I will tell you the truth. They would not play second fiddle to somebody who wasn't competent. All right. So and they had their confidence, that they could compete with anyone internationally, nationally, and so
those guys were also Western trained. And
yeah,
they
but
pay their dues.
You see the difference there. We have
They
a
pay
bunch.
their dues. Yes,
exactly. We have a bunch of leaders now in Nima that they're not sophisticated because they did not push for education. So what they do, they take a country that is so endowed with resources, finance, with intellect, with social skills. They took all of those things, right? And just give those things easily to people that are not deserving of it. And what
they don't know the worth. So then when they get there, they abuse it. Then the bill forgets offense between they and them, so they can't let them in to keep them out. They open the door a little bit. They throw them like they'll fly. Throw them some crumbs, and they go dancing. That's how they're doing.
That's why I made a post. And I'm not afraid of talking because I can discuss Nima anyway. That's why I made a post. I said they will not learn because
that way they keep kicking you all in Nima chat room.
Yeah, because
they don't know your man at your woman.
Yeah, they don't know. And this is it, right? You see that Taylor came. Yeah, let's look at the whole war. We can talk about the pros and cons of the war, right? But then Nima got hit the most even after Taylor took over, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Nima got hit because now Taylor used that to go against other prominent Nimanians who have to be very, very smart. And then we found out after that, Ellen came. Ellen used that
to murder their own brothers and sisters.
Yeah, Ellen used that as Nima as her springboard to lead to power, right? But when Ellen came, then what's the benefit to the county? For me, you have to be strategic, and I think we lack the strategic acumen from Nima.
A few people got a few houses and a car and plenty of girlfriend, plenty of babies.
But that's what I'm saying. But we have to look at a bigger picture. We have to be holistic when it comes to Nima. We can't. I can't reduce Nima just to my personal benefits, right? And think that it's well for the whole county, Right. And this is where I disagree with most of them. The reason why they feel insecure, you see them, they play second fiddle to people. In fact, Nima is not a voice in our body politics. No. A voice to say in the house where you find NEMA pulling the cars and being leadership role, major leadership role. It's not happening. You know why it's not happening? Because the way the modern lawmakers for NEMA behave, people are uncomfortable with them. You know why people are uncomfortable with them?
Yeah.
Because they have reduced themselves. They stand for nothing. They show they have no value. People take them and just use them, dash them, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I state these things, because I will give it to them. The boys, whether you like it or not, the guys from Lofa, they know how to play the cards, because even with George Weah, Lofa was a force in Weah's government. Early government, Lofa was a force. Okay, but then in NEMA, what's happening? Because we have put a bunch of people that are sophisticated, so they reduce themselves to get 10,000, 5,000. Don't look at the bigger picture. How many lawmakers or how many people from NEMA you will see that will push education, where the children from NEMA will come and advance themselves to go to some of these schools that the boys from Lofa and other places will go? Bro, how many people from NEMA? We have to call a spade a spade. You see? And that's why going forward, I will start taking a shot at them. Because you know what? They don't have the level of sophistication. They are intimidated by those guys in Monrovia, in the Capitol building. So they just play this whole thing, like they think being second or being assistant minister, that's okay. They think being second or being assistant minister, that's okay.
Emery, let me tell you something. I was in Liberia, and my brother started getting all of these calls, right? So he turned to me at the time. He said, "Yeah, can you imagine the Congo boys? Then they just calling me, they that." And I said to him, I said, "Emmanuel, why are you surprised? They should be calling you. You pay your dues,
right?
You pay your dues. You're smart. They're not calling you because they like you. They're calling you because they need you. I don't care what tribe you are, Congo, Blue, Lofian, whatever. They're calling you because they need you. All right." They needed you to help them write grants. They needed you to talk to them to see how you will manage and navigate the international community. You are the first Black man, not just Black, but an African, to head the research department of University of Minnesota. Okay, the head of the Southeastern District. Imagine your role. So there should be honor. You should not make an honor. There should be honor. These are people who have all the opportunity, but they didn't take advantage of it. You were in America on deportation, but you still managed to go to school. You were in America where your family, everybody looking up to you, although you didn't have anything. Instead, these people were on scholarship. So, like you say, the Lofians are being able to leverage whatever they have. And the Badians, or the rest of the Canada for that matter, the whole freaking nation is just in a doldrum, in the abyss. It look like they're just confused. I don't know where they put over them.
But you see me?
Yes.
The reason why I'm striking these points, especially I'm calling NEMA out, when you look at all of the counties in Liberia, right? NEMA is more progressive than any county, because the government of the resources of the government not trickling down in NEMA, but the people are very strong.
And they're polluting everything in the way, although they're still working hard to develop their county. But
this is my point. If you look at Meta Steel today, right? Because of the same corruption, Meta Steel is doing no development in NEMA.
No.
It's the responsibilities of our lawmakers, right? To hold Meta Steel.
Not just lawmakers, you policymakers also, if they are or they're there. But they can't talk.
But that's what I'm saying. The policymakers and all of them, you dare to hold them to a concession agreement, right? You see, the social corporate development, all of those things, right? You have to, because when Lamco used to boom, Saniquale was a hot spot.
Yes.
Right? But now you see Saniquale is dead. The only reason why Saniquale is dead is from the action and inaction of Meta Steel. They carry on no developmental program anywhere or along that way. But then whose responsibility to checkmate them? Our people, the representatives. This is their responsibility.
Emery,
well,
I know you're talking about NEMA. The whole Liberia, okay? The few people who built themselves the nest, they built the fence to loot the nation. Every now and then, if they're forced, they will let one person in. get them in the fold, and they just sabotage the nation that we just came up with today. All right. They have refused to educate. I mean, look at this little girl. I think you've seen this. Somebody, a news reporter. I got one yesterday, not feeling well because the weather is changing. A news reporter called me and said, "Our Oma, I beg you, please play. I'll play this. This is a little girl. I don't know how old she is. I don't know how many of you watched this yesterday. Who is prostituting herself? All right. Her face, they got the leg that look.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the content, but I watched. I didn't listen to the content because I just didn't want to listen to the content.
No, I don't. Little girl, a baby. Today I have all this inbox. Says, yeah, our Oma, can you talk about this so the government can see? The government not going to do anything. I've come to that. Y'all got to get up and do something. There's a little boy who was trying. His mother almost got brain in the house the other day. That little boy is brain on every part of him. I'll show you on here. All right. We collected a few dollars. Okay. And we sent it. All right. That child, if that child would be crippled for life, why the people are dishing out 25,000 each for 40 and some more people. All right, 25,000. I'm going to just show a picture of this child. Look at this child. Look at this child. I'm not going to play. I'm going to lower it. You see how brain this child is? Y'all see how the brain the little boy is? Every part of him is brain. He's sitting in the hospital in JFK with Vaseline. That child in the developed world would be in intensive care. They would have then done some skin grafting on him. Try to see if they can reconnect his muscle. That when I carry land and feel, and I'm a feel, I can only talk about that. Okay. I have spoken, and I need other people. I think I will call Sekou then tomorrow. If they can show it, Caroline, when you go live, please. They need, and that little boy will lay down in that place, either die or become crippled. Just as, remember the police guy that went to save the people in Bon County when that accident happened in Emmerich? When that truck got fired?
Yeah, I remember that.
That man stayed in JFK. They sent him to India. He was begging. He been begging the world to help him. They will not even pay. But they can ditch out $25,000 each to overthrow. Let me tell you, Liberian people need to, more Ali, they need to understand this. Bouaga has passed his, what do you call it, 3 score plus 1. He gone 3 score, almost 4 scores. Okay? He has nothing to lose. Your day will come to an end. We were just here yesterday. All right? You guys have to count your blessing. That Liberian people, out of emotion and fear, say you all say they elected you and cheating, and you all got to where you are. You didn't remember for 6 years, you barely had nothing. For 6 years, you were begging other people, Musa them, to survive. For 6 years, all of you were inland. All of a sudden, you say at the helm of the Liberian people money, and you think you're going to use it against them. But all of you will be disgraced one by one. All right? The people of Liberia, young people of Liberia, that your future they're messing with. Young people, mothers of Liberia, that your children's future they're messing with. You need to forget that junk country, but you love somebody. How can you love somebody who leaves your child without education? How can you love somebody who watch your child rip and nothing happen? How do you love somebody who watch your child die slowly, like the woman I saw in front of the fence yesterday? They killed his child or her child, threw him in the water and say he drowned. Just as they've been killing people, children, they will put rope on their neck and say they committed suicide. And Liberian journalists, some of them, they just show and say, oh, the people say the man committed suicide. How do you commit suicide? No impact. You're standing on both legs and you're standing up straight and you say you commit suicide. How is that possible? It tells you the level of ignorance. Call me anything and say, oh, the people put their nose out. The truth must be spoken at all times. If the truth hurts you, die. go hug the lipo. If speaking the truth to you make you angry, go put your nose in the sea, but you will hear it. If speaking the truth to you make you dislike anybody, you like I said, go drink your palm butter water in your nose. I'm the one who's saying it, but that is the truth. All right. People like Mo Ali, it needs to be investigated where they got that money from, Emery. You cannot be a manager and you're managing you're touching people money. Okay, that's an administrative job. You're not in the county.
But you see, this is the reason why I defer the whole issue to the president, because if Mo Ali did not have any instructional authority to disburse huge amount of money like that, right? I think it is upon the leadership, the executive, because he works directly under the directive of the executive, right?
Correct.
The executive will come out and put up a firm, stern statement against it and be able to go as far as investigating and even penalizing them to restore or to protect his integrity. Once he says he has integrity, those are the things to do when you have integrity. So for me, this is my position, right? In as much as I don't believe that he has integrity, yeah, in as much as I don't believe that he has integrity based on history, based on what has happened in the past. I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt to be a leader and show to the Liberian people that he's not a part of this. But to this is my point, right? You don't have to come back to the country to. You can run the country from afar. You can run the country from afar. When something like that, it's so chaotic. And you see another report that came out, right, from the ministerial agenda, heavy corruption case at the ministerial agenda right now. Okay, spending money without any supporting documentation. You see, when we talk about reform, when we talk about somebody's coming in to take a job, it simply means you have understood, right, the lapses, the problems, the past problems, and so because you're going to come in with new ideas to be able to stop the bleeding. I think the first thing, if the harmonization wasn't right, the executive order could have wiped it out, right? To change it around on day one.
Oh, yeah.
On day one, because you condemned it, right?
You condemned it.
You condemned it.
Emre, let me just come in and then you can close us, okay?
Okay.
What I've come to realize about most Liberians, wrong is only wrong when they don't benefit. Okay? It's only wrong if it does not benefit them. So long it benefits them, then it's no longer wrong. Okay? Yesterday, when the other group was stealing, all of the people, the Moali, all of us were in the same chat room. In fact, we had took over by May 8th. We had our first protest. June, we had protests. August, September, we had protests back to back, 3 days straight. Because we went first, the Fati guy went, then another group went. By the next March, we had June 8th. We were already planning before Herman Costa came. And remember, we raised that $24,000 right here. You, myself, and Dougal, a few people, we get over $700. And people were saying they thought so and so. Because we wanted the right thing done. We wanted our country. We thought we were going to change Liberia. Papa Bouaka said he knew the problem in the country. He knew the system. He was the most seasoned, most experienced, who knew everything about Liberia to fix it, that the country was dying. Emre, I'm going to play this video before you close so we can go. I need to talk to the Liberian people really quickly. You know that, what's the young boy name? Our son.
Who, Alan?
Alan lost his mother.
Oh.
He had not seen his mom for almost 3 years since we helped him to go to Rwanda. And he didn't even hear about his mother being sick. His mom died. So I'm going to be with you to see how we can help him to go home, at least to say goodbye to his mother. So
wow.
Yeah. You didn't know, eh?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I saw him. I didn't read. I saw him because I'm so busy nowadays. I saw him.
Yeah, I know. I will call you tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah, but
Listen. Listen.
Country has gone backwards in every area. Is our corruption stealing with impunity? A country that is, I call, is on autopilot because there's no leadership. And we cannot continue to risk the future of unborn generation, not to even mention the ones that are there, young people that just.
This is Pape Puaka last year when he was looking for job. He was on the rise. If you look on my page, there is there you can go to the rise Africa and put in Joseph Puaka, where he was talking about the corruption in the country, that he was the only one that qualified at this point that could change Liberia, that could stop the bleeding of our children are suffering. He talked about the young people have no sense of direction, no hope, they're drug infested. Okay, that's under the same rain right here. So I'm gonna let you close, Emmerich, and then we're gonna call it a night. I gotta go write a paper.
right. But you see, when you speak that way, it simply means that you have already had an assessment of the country.
Exactly.
Apart from the assessment, you already have a plan, right?
Thank you. Thank
To
you.
be able to stop those things you focused on.
Right.
So from day one, since you've been around for a long time, the most experienced person, you understand the history, you understand those things from day one. You will come in from day one and be able to, in fact, people don't expect a quick fix, right? But things will start shipping and shifting in the right direction, and people will feel it. People will feel it. So it was misleading, it was deceptive. Misleading and was deceptive. So say people just program you and say, just say this, that's what they want to hear. When you have integrity, you don't do those things. You don't
No, you don't.
You don't do it.
No, you
That's
don't.
one of the reasons I've always said the President Boaga does not have integrity because
No, he does not.
if he use the CPP as a litmus test because it's the most recent
Yep.
structure we have where we witness their governing their leadership skills, abilities,
Yep.
capabilities.
Yep.
So the CPP is something that we should have used if voters were informed and voters were objective in our country. They're going to use the CPP because the CPP became chaotic on President Boaka. I'm sorry to say, and that's just the
Yep.
fact.
Oh,
It's so
yeah.
disorganized, disjointed, disorganized.
Doing his term. Doing his term.
The CPP are on autopilot.
Yep.
Okay, complete autopilot when he was the leader of the CPP. We saw all of those things. The country is on auto, but now we see that from day one, since he took, well, in fact, to even organize, the government was a problem for him, still a problem for him. Did not know how to vet. The vetting process was poor. The inauguration was poor from start. Everything been downhill.
We still yet to hear the inaugurations report. All the money that got lost. Yep.
Yeah, but this is the point. When you talk about equity, right, you have to come with clean hands.
Yep.
You can talk about auditing. Although you know why the reason why the audit was used as a political weapon to keep other people quiet from criticizing him.
Yep.
Well, we see that the whole audit business is no business anymore.
Nope.
It's no business anymore because one, you cannot account for the inauguration money. You cannot account for it. Mm-hmm. The 22 million out of the grade the who does that in the dry season? You say you spent 22 million. You cannot even provide documentation as to how that money was expended, how it was spent. Exactly. You cannot do it because you see the roads right now are impassable, right?
No.
People got to go the same way. In fact, even worse. So you see how embarrassing it is for people to just speak of leadership in that way, and you don't. But the good thing, what I like is this: that President Boaka is given the chance, right, Because if he had not been given the chance, tomorrow they're going to say that only President Boyka could have changed, or only Boyka could have changed, or Mr. Boyka or Ambassador Boyka could have changed Liberia. But he was not given the chance to do it.
But we cannot continue to do that.
But
we are in the view that we have to not deliver.
But you see, I understand you and myself on the same page, right? When it comes to that, we can't be. It's not try and error, second guessing. Let's try this. Okay, let's try that. No. First of all, if you have somebody who's already had a history of success in leadership, that alone, at least you can have some prediction that some good things will work. If it did not work, that's okay. But at least you will have some good prediction that things will work. But to see President Boyka right now, the way he is, I will tell you, he cannot run the country. For me, I did not have the confidence in him because I already knew from the look of the CPP, I knew that he was a flop. I did not hide it. And then another thing from the PL 480, that audit report that I got from the National Archive, I knew because a lot of stuff that in that thing was so detailed that Liberians, they try to, you see, the political side, they try to like, oh, nothing, they pop it, nothing. And which some of us left it. But when it comes to the corruption, we can see that the same behavior that in that report, that's exactly what's happening now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for the conversation. It was really nice. The people come later and they watch, but for me, I believe if we get 10 people who are reasonable to listen, it will get, because if people are calling from Liberia to say our Oma speak tomorrow, I will just do a live on that with that little girl. Okay, the parents need to stand up, and Emmerich, we cannot give up on Liberia. People fought for us to be here, for our children to have the opportunities that they have. Here I am, everywhere here. I get college writing based on merit to my daughter. She have to make a choice where she want to go. Right now, she's doing early decision. All right. We want that opportunity for Liberian young people. We want when our children graduate back home, they're able to find job. You cannot continue. How are you going to tell me you're going around begging that you people suffering, but then you're telling us our LRA exceeded its a budget or revenue collection. I don't know how many, over $100 million, but you go to the UN, you lie that you're suffering, that your interest rate is high. You go to Italy, you say you're doing this. You're not telling the people, this is how much we're investing in agriculture. What can you help us with? Can you help us with equipment? Okay. You're not telling Liberians that are already making farm. Listen, I saw the other day in Nima alone, plenty all over in the street. Those people are going to leave it there. They're not going to take it back with them, because I can bet you transporting it over there was very expensive because of the road condition. All right. But here we are here buying plenty powder to make fufu with, or banana powder to make fufu with, that is so expensive. You could process that food and ship it around the world. Okay. Like, you have to understand, you have the raw material, that what the world is looking for. You have it. Why are you giving it out free? Why we keep electing people who have no vision, who can't even do the job because of our tribe, because we like them? Why?
Well, you see, the thing about knowledge is like you only know what you are exposed to. That's it. You cannot do anything beyond what you're exposed to. Our system. Let's be realistic. We are not exposed to anything. All right, well, anything much. So
is Boyka not exposed?
No, he's not. I will tell you this. But you see, we have always had a failed system. Let's be realistic. Do you expect?
Yes, Master, I'm reaching out to you right after this call.
Do you expect President Boyka to understand the intricacy and complexity of the world when it comes to finance, when it comes to economics, and so? When he has always worked in a system, okay, a subpar system. We have to be realistic. I worked in Liberia before. In our accounting system, right up to this time, we don't even have our whole system. We don't have automation in the whole country. So if you take an accountant from Liberia and you brought an accountant abroad to Europe or America, and so most cases, 99%, it's not like that person is not, but that person is unprepared because that person has not had a level of exposure. We have brilliant people. but we have not had the level of exposure. So that person will be like a blind person, not knowing those things. It's not that the person cannot do it, but when they get trained, they will do it. Okay, when they get trained, they will do it. They will know how to do it, because some of the people that are doing those things not smarter than our people, but we don't have the exposure. Exposure can only expand your bandwidth on anything. If you don't have that exposure, you Cindy, I will tell you the truth. Even with teaching right now, because you have been exposed to that, you know different methods, you know different things to do in a school system that will create effective. That will create.
I come and go sit down tonight, right?
But that's what I'm saying.
A 10-page. I come and start harassing you again. Remember, let me tell you something before we go. You know, remember one time, I don't know where I was doing, was supposed to do something. I can't do well for me. He said, yesterday, yeah, if you don't start harassing me, I'm work, I'm about to shut down. That's why I would just
yeah, I was pissed on that day. You know, the crew keep straight me. And you see the point I was making, right? I don't want to forget. You see me, our people are brilliant, but we have not had the level of exposure. Mm-hmm. That is a problem by itself. When I spoke, I've known Gafuan for a very long time. We went to school together. Be there we are. This guy is one of the most brilliant people. You can only be brilliant to what you are exposed to. But it's hard when you have not been exposed to anything also what you know to just come and be brilliant there.
When we go to World Bank or African Development Bank, it's just that little closet that we are in, and whatever space they give us, that way you don't go beyond that.
Right, you don't go beyond that. And now, breaking news from me: if you put Gafuan and Jeremiah Kuhn together in any race, I will support Gafuan, because you see, for me, you see me, I like to be truthful. I like to. This is me. I've always been this way.
I'm not even supporting either one.
Now, I will support Gafuan because Gafuan is more qualified. I think Gafuan has what it takes. Yeah. So
I'm not. What so it was ahead of the lifeblood of the country. What did he do with $16 billion that he was?
I do agree. I do agree. It's a whole different
question.
No, I do agree. But at the same time, too, Kuhn been placed in a lot of positions, even more powerful than that. And then we so the point of who has at least better leadership skills and acumen or strategic acumen and can do the job. And so I would say I would take Gafuan. The reason why I would take
what are you doing right now? You keep telling her they will give up. Gafuan then sold to us rotten goods. Okay. But Gafuan then sold to us an indecent person who people say because he's old, we should not speak to that. A man who puts his hand on the Bible and swear and lie on or off before God and man, a deacon. A man who is old enough to be all of our grandfather. You know, my mom was saying, but yeah, you're our closest one. So when I watch this man display, okay, I know what I went through during the war. A person who you know that you have helped, because I know for a fact that Alexander Cummings have helped Bouaka, gave him money during his campaign, gave him money for medical help, visited him, provided security details for him here in Georgia, for him to look in his face and say, and they're all throughout, and they went to him with that CPP stuff. Why he spent his money?
The old man is just disingenuous, period.
And say, I don't know him. And then come and say, oh, the reading was too long. I could not read it. I saw Bouaka stood up for almost 2 hours and read when he reported to the Senate for the what do you call it, State of the Nation address. But he said the information in the chat was too long. But then he put his hand up and took oath to lie. You know, Liberian people, when you tell, when an old person lie, you must say they were telling story. A lie is a lie. It does not matter if
you see, that's me too. I came from a background where when you're lying, I'll tell you, say you're a liar. You know, that thing they come on and say this, and I know I'm the way I've been posting about them today. I know I'm the most hated person, but I really don't care. I can put my face on it. Yeah, I can enter Nima anytime. I take care of my own security. Nothing, you know, so I really don't care. I need to speak the truth. That's it. When I speak the truth, I'm okay. I go to bed okay when I speak the truth. That's
me tomorrow night. I will talk about the little girl. Okay, Emmerich, thank you so much
Okay.
for coming
You
on.
see, I'll be sending you my invoice because now to be appearing, I got my face and my what they call it.
I gotta listen to you and Pee Wee conversation. I know you. That was fun. That had to.
No, I don't even want to talk about it because
I know you were decimated because the thing they get loud. They act like they know. That's
yeah,
it.
he said he's gonna teach me. So we're gonna be coming your show to take aptitude test live, right? No spying.
Please do that one.
Yeah,
I
we
can
take
put my head
tests.
on it for you.
Yeah, y'all gotta draw some tests and take them for to take aptitude test live.
Bye, Emmerich.
Okay,
Good night.
bye.